Hello and welcome to Pearls of Parmadice. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband Mason and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, October 11th. Welcome to my humble home. I'm so glad that you're joining me today to talk about some knitting and sewing and crafting. It's going to be a good time. I've got a lot to talk about. I have a fun surprise for you guys. I have third quarter make-along winners to announce. I have works in progress, finished objects, stash editions that I didn't expect. There is a lot. So get comfy, get cozy, and let's chat. If you are new here, I'm so glad that you are joining me. If you're returning, welcome back. You can find most of the things that I discussed today linked down below in the description box. Let's see, along with my social medias. So Pokemon Go, my friend code's down there, Goodreads, Ravelry, Instagram, a link to the podcast group, all of that. The usual like, comment, subscribe, the things that all the YouTubers say, all those things really help the channel, help other people find our little crafty community. And that's really great. Okay, before we really get into it, there are a few housekeeping things, some admin things. The first thing, this is the third time I've attempted to record this episode this morning. I just have not been happy with it and decided we needed to shake things up. So if you are new here, you wouldn't know this, but if you are not here, you're seeing a different view. I just felt like the lighting was weird in the spot I was in today. And, my front window is southern facing, and the way that the light comes in just changes through the seasons at different times. So we're trying this. We'll see if it works. We'll see if we like it. It does feel a little more echoey, so I do apologize if the sound quality isn't as good. Secondly, the other reason that I have recorded this several times, my voice has been going in and out. It is fall allergy season here, and mine are in full swing. I've been kind of sniffly this week, and the drainage stuff, it's supposed to be up to like 75 today, but most of the week it's been quite chilly, especially at night. So I'm feeling a little dry. The air is pretty dry. So I've got some honey cinnamon chai tea in here. We're going to hope that that will get us through recording number 3. I have my water bottle. I normally try not to drink on my podcast just because for me, I don't like mouth noises. It's my own personal thing. Nothing against anybody else, but just in case other people are like that too. I try not to drink anything on my podcast, but it will be unavoidable today. So I do apologize for that. I think that's all for housekeeping. Let's get into some admin. Also, you normally can't see my hands on the screen. This is very strange. I do talk with my hands, so sorry if that is distracting. I will try not to do that as much as I normally do. Okay, admin. First off, I want to just start on a little more of a sober note. I'm not going to stay here too long. If you are in the US and have been around any sort of news coverage whatsoever, and maybe even internationally over the past couple of weeks, you'll know that the southeastern US has just been hit so hard by both Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. I think I'm saying that right. Maybe not. But you all know. And one of the hardest areas hit is Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. I went to college in Eastern Tennessee, not in the hardest hit areas, but that region of the country has a special place in my heart. And so many people have lost their lives, lost their homes, lost their livelihoods, lost power, food, water, their shelter, everything. So if you are able to donate and help with that, the cleanup and the relief, that would be amazing. But I want to specifically talk about ways that our fiber community has been impacted. And one of those ways, Southeastern Animal Fiber Festival, I think that's right, SAF, was supposed to be held next weekend. And unfortunately, that did have to be canceled. It was 100% the right call. The venue is now being used as a shelter for those who have lost their homes, which is exactly what that needs to be used for. However, some of our own in the fiber community have invested time and energy and money and resources into preparing to vend at this festival, some of them for the very first time. And since that's been canceled, totally understandably, they are out hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in inventory and production time and all those things. So if you are able to support them, if you head to Nicole of Witchin' Knittin' Mama, and I will link her channel down below. You're going to hear me talk about her a couple times during this episode. If you are able to support a maker, she has those linked on her latest podcast episode in the description box. She, I think, is also linking some local dyers, local yarn stores that were affected by this. And if you are watching and you are in that region, or if you are in Florida, I have family down there and have already seen some horrific pictures of the hurricane that just went through a couple of days ago. You are in my thoughts and my prayers, and I really, my heart goes out to all of you. So I know that's kind of a sobering way to start. I don't want to sit here for too long, but I did want to acknowledge that. And I know so many of us want to help in some way, and that is a way that you can help people in the fiber community. So head over there and check that out if you feel so called. And even if you can't donate monetarily or support makers in that way, you can always follow them on Instagram, share some of their posts to reach a wider audience. Some of them have YouTube channels, things like that. Every little bit does help. So anyways, that's what you can do if you so choose. All right. That was very heavy. Let's move on to something a little bit lighter. And that is, let's go ahead and talk about the giant mini mail. I do have notes over here, but I'm going to try not to reference them since I've now recorded this several times. Let's go ahead and do that. So before I announce those winners, I wanted to preface this by just saying, first off, I have the best viewers ever. And one of you, Jasmine, thank you so much, reached out to me and asked if she could send some yarn for prizes. And I was like, yes, that would be amazing. And I expected like 3 or 4 skeins of yarn. You guys, she sent me, I don't think you can see it. No, my rocking chair is blocking it, but it's sitting on my dining room table still. This huge box that was just packed full of yarn. It arrived last week. Totally made my day. She said I could keep some things out of it, use it for prizes, whatever. So there are a few things I'm going to pull out to hang on to, but the rest I will be able to flush out those prize packages for 4th quarter and for the grand prize for this year's Giant Mini Mal 2024. The winners for 3rd quarter, their prizes are coming from that box. And I'm also hoping to be able to do some more giveaway kind of things fairly often. So stay tuned. I am going to do a giveaway later in the episode, but there's a lot of this episode that's front heavy with admin, and I don't want to do that quite yet. So watch for that later in the episode. But first, without further ado, oh my goodness, words are very hard today. I am going to put those, I don't know where, up on the screen the two winners for the third quarter of the Giant Mini Mal. And if you don't know what the Giant Mini Mal is, it is a make-along that I'm hosting over on Ravelry that's basically geared toward using up mini skeins, using up leftovers, things like that. All the details can be found on my Ravelry page and on my Instagram, so hop over there if you would like more information. And if Ravelry is not accessible to you, please feel free to reach out, send me an email, and enter that way. I will get you entered totally fine. So these two lovely skeins, congratulations. You will each receive one of these. So they are both from Primrose Yarn Co., which is not a yarn company I am familiar with, in their Cosmic Helix base, which is a 2-ply fingering weight sock yarn. It's very plush, very plump, in the colorways Dream Warriors, which, isn't that dreamy? That is so pretty. So, so pretty. And Dawn Draper. And this is 100% superwash merino, so I guess it's not sock yarn, it's just fingering. I'm sorry, I misspoke. And this is showing up a little bit brighter. It's a bit more muted in person. So congratulations. If you can respond to me by the end of the day, October 24th, 2024, I will get each of these out in the mail. If I do not hear from you either on Instagram or on Ravelry, by that time, I will need to redraw just because I only podcast every other week and I will need to get these out before we hit holiday season. So congratulations. We'll put these over here. Put them over here. That's the other reason I moved. I have my coffee table now in front of me with stuff on it. I was reaching way too much stuff everywhere. All right, let's talk about finished objects. My first finished object is not knitting, it is sewing, and it is also what I'm wearing today. I am so pleased with how this turned out. This is the first top that I have ever sewn. If you are new here, I don't typically have sewing, but over the past year, I have been taking sewing classes. They're just like 4 or 5 classes every semester at my local career center. So this is the 4th class technically that I've taken, but really the 3rd one. The first one was just learning to use a sewing machine. That didn't really count. We didn't make anything. But this is my very first blouse. I learned so many skills. This was a roller coaster of a project. I got so discouraged multiple times through the process. I truly did not think I was going to be able to accomplish this, but here it is. I've got these beautiful balloon sleeves. I didn't think I was going to like this pattern either, the fit of this, and it still isn't something I would probably go to a store and pull off the rack and go, yes, I'm buying this. But I do love how it turned out. I will pop in a photo of my materials up here so you can see the fabric a little bit better. The fabric does have ghosts on it. Drinking iced coffee, no less. So I love it. And then this has moons and stars and things. I am going to reach out to, again, told you I was going to mention her a bunch of times today, Nicole of Witch and Knit and Mama, and ask if I can enter this in her emotional support ghost mal, since it does have ghosts on it. This was my husband's entry, Maggie. She's a little ghost that he crocheted. If you're new here, I'm the knitter. My husband's the crocheter. He just started a few months ago and has taken off with it. So in case you're wondering, crochet is by him, knitting's by me. And now I sew. I had a couple of friends who told me, now that I've made this, I can say I sew. So I sew now, I guess. But I just love this. I learned how to do buttonholes. I learned how to do cuffs. I learned how to do a collar, which was so hard. I learned set-in sleeves, which I was told would be really hard, but it was super easy. Bust starts. I thought that was going to be hard, and I figured that out. I am really, really pleased with this. It still doesn't totally feel like me, if that makes sense, like the shirt, but I like it a billion times better than I thought I was going to. I'm still glad I did it in a seasonal fabric. I don't see this as being something I would wear all of the time. I don't see myself making another one of these, but I do feel like I have the skills to go forth and make all kinds of different things now. So that is my sewing finished object. I did want to take a minute and just show the pattern. So it is McCall's M8284, and I did top A with the sleeves of dress C. This is actually an extra pattern that I had. When our instructor told us that this is what we were going to be making in this class, it was quite a while ago. And I bought 2 different sized patterns, not knowing which size I would need. And they were only a couple of dollars at the time. So this one goes, I truthfully, sizing is something I'm still learning how to do. So this one says the sizes are sizes 6 through 24. So the bust measurements, it says, are, which is the body measurement, not the, I guess the ease is built into the pattern. 30.5 inch through 46 inch, which now I'm kind of confused because I'm a 45 inch bust, but I made the other, the larger pattern size. Anyway, all that to say, I have this pattern and I would be, it says like average, I guess. Here, if you are super interested, you could probably screenshot that or message me for more information or look it up yourself online. But I'm not going to use this, so it hasn't been opened or used or anything. If you would like this pattern, reach out. I'd be happy to send it to someone, probably just in the US, continental US on this. It's not really a giveaway. It's just, I guess, kind of a de-stash. So if anybody is interested in this, comment below, reach out to me, message me on Instagram or something, and whoever contacts me first, I'll send it out. So that's not the giveaway I talked about earlier. That's just an extra thing. My next finished object is one that I am so pleased with. This is my knitting finished object. I finished the Flax by Tin Can Knits, and this is not mine. This is my husband's. So I have knit him sweater vests before, but never a full sweater. And this came out so nice. I will put some pictures in of him wearing it. If you are not familiar with the Flax, it is a really simple top-down raglan sweater pattern. It's a great first sweater. A ton of people have made it. If you've been around the knitting community for any length of time, you probably have heard of it. It's got this garter panel down the sleeves. Many people, I feel like, are knitting these right now. Dale from Knit One T2 just knit a like short sleeve version. Nicole of Witch and Knitting Mama, she just knit one for her son and put like dinosaurs, I think, in color work at the bottom. So you can really change this up however you want, but I just did plain, no short rows for my husband. I used the recommended knitting needle, which I think was a US 8 for the main portions and a US 6 for the ribbing. And the yarn is Lionbrand Fisherman's Wool in the colorway Nature's Brown. So this is 100% non-superwash wool. It blocked out really beautifully. When he had tried it on before blocking, there was a lot of like bubbling in the chest, and I was really concerned about that. But once it was washed and blocked, those stitches relaxed, and it is fabulous. It fits him so well. Also photo credit, my friend Tam, who is Nitty Naughty Hand Dyed Yarn. She took those photos of Mason at knit night. He wore it on Wednesday to work and then to knit night. And I did not see him during daylight hours at all to grab a photo. So thank you, Tam. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Go check out her yarn. It is stunning. All right, so that is the Flax. I will at some point be knitting another one exactly the same, except I might put short rows in mine for myself. Same yarn, just a different colorway, same size too. So you can look forward to that probably next year. Let's move on to works in progress. So I have been working mostly on sweaters for pretty much the past week. First week after podcasting, all my free time went into this blouse, but this past week I was able to put more work in on things. So first thing I want to show you is my Cinnabar sweater. This pattern is by Raimo and is one of the most versatile sweater patterns I think I've ever seen. There's so many options included in the pattern. It is paid for, but there is a cropped version, which is what I'm making. There is a full-length fitted version, a full-length version without extra fitting put in. You can do bell sleeves, which is what I'm doing. Look at that. Or you can do just fitted sleeves. Lots of combos, lots of options. And this is what mine looks like. So I had last told you guys I wanted to finish this sleeve. And so where did I leave off? I knit all of this since I last saw you. Put this on waste yarn, which I know I've got a stitch dropping. I discovered that in another recording, but I'll deal with it later. And then I put the body on barber cord and tried it on. It fits so well. It fits perfectly. I love it. And then I blocked it with the attached ball of yarn just kind of sitting outside of the tub. So wet blocked it, had it dry. I am so glad I did because this grew a lot. And I had told you guys I wanted to make sure I didn't get that sleeve too long. And I could have tried this on to show you, but a lot of my belly is still showing. I need to do more on the body. But the sleeves are just a perfect bell sleeve length. So they go about to here, this like thumb knuckle, or I don't know what this is called. They kind of go to there. So I am just going to bind this off and this sleeve will be done. And then all I need to do is finish the body and knit a second sleeve, wash it, block it, and it will be finished. So it's hard to tell. Oh, there we go. But there's this beautiful garter ridge texture all throughout, just with like little pearl bumps is what it is. Not really garter, just pearl texture, stripes, and it is stunning. So this is, the yarn is Solstice Fiber Studio in their classic worsted base in the colorway Bloom. They have such great yarn, such beautiful colors. The ladies, Sam and Megan, are amazing, wonderful human beings, and incredible dyers. So check them out. But that is what I'm using for this beautiful, beautiful sweater. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to wear it. I cannot wait for it to be finished. It is so soft. It feels very good next to skin. And I think this might be my autumn lake pullover, which I've been wearing all the time, fits me very well. This also fits me very, very well. So I think I have figured out my perfect sweater fit. Don't ask me to explain it because I don't think I could, but I love the fit of this. I cannot wait for you guys to see this finished. So again, this is like a top-down raglan sweater. I am knitting this on the recommended needles, which are, I want to say the ribbing is in a US size 7 and the body is in a US 8, I think. I've used Chalgu needles for just about everything, unless I say otherwise. So that's what I have there. I did knit the flax on clover bamboo needles in a size 8. I don't think I said this. A size 8 for the main portions and then a size US 6 for the ribbing. So that's my Cinnabar sweater. Let's see, what is next? Next, let's move to my Azul. So I worked on this on Wednesday. This is the Azul by Elizabeth Zimmerman. And it is a t-shirt, and it looks nothing like a t-shirt right now. But I made a lot of progress. I had cast this on my birthday back in May. And I wanted this for so long, but it hasn't been the most enjoyable thing for me to work on. And I'm really not, well, I think I do know why. It is knit bottom up, and I don't think I love knitting bottom up sweaters or tops. But this one's so pretty. It'll be amazing when it's done. You've got garter sections and then these drop stitch kind of stripes at the bottom. And I finished the entire front panel. So you knit in the round bottom up, and then you divide for the sleeve, not sleeves. You don't divide for sleeves. You divide for a front and back panel that you knit flat. So I finished, and it doesn't look, this won't look very spectacular until I actually complete the whole thing. So this is the front. Let me try and kind of show you how that'll lay. So this is like the least accurate looking thing ever, but it's fine. So there's the neckline. I have this row of this like stockinette stripe that you can't really see. The camera's not picking that up super well today. And the sleeves are just knit as part of the panel, and they're very, very short sleeves. I do really like the way this is turning out. I had a lot of fun doing this section with all of the short rows for the shoulder shaping and the neckline and things like that. I really had fun with that. So I put that on a stitch holder, and it'll just sit there until it's time to connect both panels together at the shoulder seams. And this is the back. So on the front, I had that little ghosty guy holding my spot, and then I put a little fishy on the back just so that you can see how much I got done on the back. I have a long way to go on that back panel, but then it'll be done. I am knitting this in Knit Picks CotLin, which is a cotton linen blend, which also means I probably won't wear this again until next spring in like late April or early May. So I missed the boat on that, but that's okay. I haven't been very motivated to work on this, but I really want to have this done by the end of the year. I'll talk about that a little more later on, but that's my goal. I want this off my needles by the end of this year. So that is the Azul by Elizabeth Zimmerman. Let's go ahead and see if you all are paying attention and do a giveaway. So if you are still here, I just really have wanted to do some more giveaways on this channel. I think it would be really fun. So I am going to be giving away this beautiful skein of yarn. And this is one of the ones that was donated by Jasmine. It doesn't have a label. I believe it's fingering weight, 4-ply, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. So if you would like to be entered to win this skein, leave a comment down below and tell me what your favorite thing or thing you're most looking forward to eating this fall is. I am excited for soups and pumpkin spice everything, all of those kinds of things. If you have a recipe to share, that would be even better. You know, feel free to link a recipe. If you're looking for some good fall recipes that are super easy and look amazing, check out Amy of Happy Little Yarn. She has been doing Vlogtober and making some really delicious looking comfort food. So head over there if you need some inspiration. But just leave a comment down below and I will announce a winner on my next podcast on October 25th, 2024. Please do not use the word giveaway or winner or anything like that in the comments. We don't want the bots to come. I will not reach out to you via YouTube or anything if you win. I will just announce it on the next podcast. That is the only place that you will hear me announce it. And this one will just be open everywhere, wherever. So go enter if you would like to win a lovely skein of yarn. And thank you, Jasmine, for donating. Let's keep going with works in progress. In my pumpkin spice junky bag and my big basket here is my Beekeeper's quilt by Tiny Owl Knits. I did not get as much work done on this as I had hoped, but I did finish all of the Hexie Puffs from the Ditto colorway. So those are all finished. And then this has been my project I work on in the morning for 30 minutes of knitting, like right when I wake up. And I just, on the days that I work, typically, sometimes days I'm off, sometimes I don't work on it every day. But I try to aim for 30 minutes of knitting in the morning on this every day. And I didn't get as far as I wanted, but I did make it to the next colorway this morning. And I went ahead and knit a full Hexie Puff so you could see. So this is the Snorlax colorway. And the yarn is from Fangirl Fibers, her July countdown, her Pokemon ones, from 2022 and 2023. I was not able to purchase the one this year, which was a bummer. A huge bummer, but that's okay. So I can get about 7 Hexie Puffs out of one mini skein. And my goal is every podcast to show you the next colorway, to be on a new color. So far we're doing all right with that. Next work in progress. Have you noticed I've pulled out all of my fall, and I don't think I have any Halloween bags over here, but I have pulled out all of my fall bags. So I've got my pumpkin bag here. And inside is a project that I don't know if I've ever shown this to you. So a little bit of story time. If you've been around for a while, you know that a little under a year ago, Marley Bird, who I test and sample knit for, reached out to me and asked if I would knit the sample version of the 2023 Turkey Trot Mystery Knit Along, what we were making. So of course I said yes, like such a huge honor. And I had a very tight turnaround time, and it was a cardigan. Beautiful, beautiful. I loved knitting it. But the tight turnaround time, it's knit on size 10 needles, bulky weight yarn. By the time I was done, my hands were really fatigued, and I really wanted to make one for myself, but my body was just like, no, we're done with the big needles for now. So I bought the yarn, started knitting it, and then put it aside. So I added it to my Ravelry page a week or so ago, and Random Number Generator seems to really like it. It keeps picking it. So the yarn I'm using is Caron Macchiato Cakes, which is the recommended yarn in the colorway Lovely. Isn't this the most beautiful, like, autumnal purple ever? I love it. And I have gotten so much done on this. And I know I haven't said the pattern name. Whoop. and I'll explain why in a second. But this is all where this gnome guy is. This is all I had done before, just like this little collar bit. And I got really, really far. I got through all the buttonholes, dividing for the sleeves. Isn't this gradient just, oh, it's so pretty. So it's a raglan cardigan, and it is just lovely. I didn't say what the pattern name is because I don't know. Full disclosure, I am knitting this from the pattern that I printed out when I knit the sample for her. So I know that some things were tweaked and changed with the final version, and the pattern that I had from sample knitting had 2 sleeve options, and I think now those are 2 separate patterns, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to tell you both patterns, and you can go take a look on her Ravelry page or on her website and see which version appeals most to you. So the one that I sample knit, which if you'd like to go look at my beautiful sample, feel free. It is gorgeous. I love this pattern. Marley is amazing. That is called the Shoop, Shoop, Shoop by Marley Bird. And that's the one I'm kind of knitting, but the sleeves, I think, because I'm going to do, there's like a short sleeve one, which is what I knit the sample in, but then my version of the pattern had a bell sleeve version on the sample sleeve, on the pattern for the sample. And that's what I'm knitting from. So, and that one I think now is a pattern called the Breckenridge, I think. I don't know. I could be confusing. There we go. I could be confusing. I could be mixing those up, or I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I'm kind of just going off of the pattern that I already have printed, saving some paper. So, and that's the one that I figured out my sizing from and all of that kind of thing. So full disclosure, my exact pattern I'm knitting from probably isn't available exactly, but one of those 2 is the same thing. I think they're both basically the same thing. I think it just depends on what sleeve you want, but I could also be wrong on that. I could be confusing. Anyways, I'm really enjoying that. I'm so glad I pulled it out, and it's making me very excited to see what she comes up with this year for Turkey Trot. So Turkey Trot is a mystery knit along and mystery crochet along. Oh, I just thought about this. Mason and I could do this together. He watches my podcasts, so this will probably be news to him when he watches this, but we could do this together. You could crochet, do the crochet version. I could do the knit version. That'd be so fun. Anyways, but yeah, and it's a mystery make along. It's super fun. It's just fun to do it in that little community. And she has a Facebook group and people are super active, and it's fun to see us all making the same thing, but them all looking different and helping each other out when we get stuck and things like that. It's just really, really great. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely check that out over. I don't know when she's posting details about that. I think pretty soon though. But you can check her Facebook page, her website, all those places for that information. The last thing I worked on, I barely worked on it. I only worked on this yesterday a teensy bit, and I almost decided not to show you guys just because it's such a small amount, but I know this is a fan favorite, so I'll pull it out and show you real quick. This is my Cozy Memories by Shelley Dupont, and it's just scraps and some minis from a Christmas advent I got and a couple of years ago. Ooh, okay. I normally cannot fit the whole thing in the frame, but sitting over here, I can, I think. I can't really see, so I don't actually know. But I finished this square, and I know I need to get a fall progress keeper on this instead of our Rudolph hot chocolate progress keeper, but I didn't work on this much after Christmas. This is something I tend to pull out around Christmas and work on by the Christmas tree, and then it just sort of goes away, but I've been enjoying it. And then I just started the next square, so really not a lot to show, but I know it's a fan favorite. I love seeing other people's scrappy blankets, even if they haven't worked on them. It tells me a lot about the maker usually and what kinds of colors they like, what kinds of yarn they like. And all of them look different and cohesive and fun, and I don't know. I just love seeing people's scrappy blankets. I think it's really fun. So if you don't enjoy that, sorry, but if you do, you're welcome. That is all I have been working on. Oh, let me reference my notes really quick and see where we are heading next. Oh, just briefly, future plans. I kind of touched on this briefly earlier, so we're just briefing it up here. Every year around this time, I think to myself, I should really buckle down and clear my needles. And then I don't do that. And I enter into the new year with all of these whips, and all I really want to do is cast things on. I want to stop that cycle. Most of my goals for this year have totally gone out the window as far as knitting goes, but I've done really well with finishing current whips. So my goal from now to the end of the year is to finish all of the projects that are on my Ravelry page, except for my 3 scrappy blankets. So my Beekeeper's quilt, my Cozy Memories, and then I have a log cabin blanket going. Those don't count. I also have a vest. I didn't show it this time or last time, but I think I showed it a few podcasts ago. That is mini skeins. It's not the most portable project. So that one may not get done either, and that's okay. I have 11 whips total, including all of those. So really, if I can get 7 done by the end of the year, which I think is completely doable, I'll be thrilled. That is my goal. So my goal is to clear the needles so that in 2025, I can cast on with abandon. Now, that being said, tiny asterisk here. I do still plan on, I may participate in the turkey trot. I'm still kind of planning on it. It'll depend on what yarn it uses and all that jazz. I will probably cast something on Christmas Eve. It may just depend on how far along on this whip goal thing I am. And then I definitely will cast something on for winter solstice. If I cast those 3 things on, they don't count towards clear the needles. Like, to me, those don't count for that. But that's where we're headed. So you probably won't see new cast-ons here much between now and the end of the year. If that's something that you really enjoy, I'm so sorry. But I think it's important for me to finish some of these things and enter next year with a clean slate. I'm very excited about it. Stash additions. Let's move into that. I am going to try to be as quick as possible with these because there are more than I had anticipated. So last month, my parents at the beginning of September went to Alaska and they brought me back yarn, which is amazing. So this is the store that they went to in Skagway. I should have prefaced that before I just shoved a paper bag in your face, but there you go. Boreal Artworks. And they brought me back the most stunning skein of yarn. So this is dyed. Oh, look at this. You know what? Let's just not even say anything. Let's just bask in the gloriousness of the beauty of the yarn. Oh my goodness. Like, there are so many colors in this. I absolutely love it. This is dyed by Jules Joy, who is Alaskan Yarn Co. Out of Homer, Alaska. The store is in Skagway, where my parents bought this. And they got to meet her. She was there in the store and they got to meet her. And I think that was so, so cool. And the colorway of this is Candy Bowl. So this is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. My mom bought it intending for me to make socks, but I think it might be too pretty to make socks. I think it might need to be a shawl or a cowl or a hat, although it makes some really pretty socks too. I don't know. If you guys have ideas, let me know. Or patterns that take heavily variegated one skein of fingering. Pop them down below. So that is first thing. Actually, let me show you the business card. So there's that. Just so you can see that. Okay. And then my yarn fairy friend and I met up before I went to work last week, one day. And we had knit and crochet time together. She was working on repairing a sweater for a friend that had, it's a very long story, but basically this sweater was 100% wool, beautiful, and was damaged in shipping. Had a hole and grease stains. So we were kind of brainstorming on how to fix that and fixing that. And she brought me this lovely bag of yarn goodies, and I'm just going to run through it really quickly here. So there's this gorgeous skein ball, I guess this is ball, of Cascade 220 Superwash Merino. It's blowing out. It's more of a foresty green. So that one. And this is all commercial yarn. Barocco Soft Twist. And none of these have colorways. They're all like just boring numbers. So there's that one. And Classic Elite Yarns Soft Linen. One ball of that. And if anyone has ideas for little things I can do with these yarns, let me know. Otherwise, I'm sure I can figure something out. Even some of the natural fibers, throw in color work or something like that. Blue Sky Alpaca's Royal Alpaca. So soft. Is like, oh, just the softest thing. Then I've got 2 skeins of Barocco Tuscan Tweed. How many yards is this? Does it say 120 yards per ball? Oh, I could definitely do like hat or cowl or something. Mitts, something lovely. Again, I'm gonna drink tea here. These 2 skeins of Farmhouse Cotton by Willow Yarns. Oh, this one has a color name. Verdigris, which I think is like probably green gray, because verde is green and grease is gray. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. It says it's a weight 3, but I don't think so. This looks like fingering weight to me. So if you have ideas for this, I would absolutely love to hear it. Each ball is 360 yards. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a little summer top next summer. That could be pretty. I don't know. Anything you have ideas for. I love hearing your ideas. You guys have great ideas. And then the last thing in here are these 2 balls of Rowan Alpaca Cotton. And those are all of my stash additions, which was a lot. And like I said, Jasmine sent that massive box, and I just don't want to take everything out of the box to show you the things that I'm going to keep and the things I'm going to give away and all that. So that's why I haven't shown that. It's all packed in there so nicely that I'm just going to leave it all packed nicely and just pull out as I use stuff or give stuff away. I've also been opening my Gem State Yarns Monster Mash Halloween Countdown. I've been posting pictures just about every day when I remember on my Instagram stories of that. I'm not going to show all of those here. I should have done like more of a Vlogtober thing, but I didn't. So as far as that goes, like the opening, but if you are interested in that at all, head over to my Instagram. I might try and make a highlight with all of those on there. We'll see. But I have been opening that and really, really enjoying it. Okay, reading and watching. We are in the home stretch. Whew. Vlogtobers. I don't typically watch Vlogtober, but this year I've been obsessed. I tend to be more of a Vlogmas person. I love the Christmas season and seeing what people are doing, but I also really just enjoy seeing how other people live, what other people do, what someone else's day-to-day looks like. I think that's really cool and really interesting, and especially when there's an element of crafting thrown in there, it makes it even better. So I have quite the list here of Vlogtobers. I'm going to run through those really quickly. Some of these are daily, some of these are weekly. So I'm not going to parse out which is which, but I would really encourage you to go check out, especially if there's somebody on this list you've never heard of. Go give them a try, see what you think. And I think all of them, or most of them, I'm not sure about one, but the rest of these all have some kind of a knitting or crafting podcast, knit or crochet. So if you're not a Vlogtober person, but you're looking for new podcasts, their channels would be ones to check out too. So first one is Paper Crane Yarns. I want to say her name is Ashley, but I could be wrong on that. She is out of Alabama. I've been following her for a couple of years. She just has the sweetest little home and the sweetest little family. She owns a yarn store. She's a yarn dyer. She is incredible. I don't know how she does all of the things she does. I am pretty convinced she doesn't sleep. She is absolutely amazing and probably the sweetest person over on YouTube. Definitely check her out. She was supposed to vend at SAF. So if you're looking for someone to support, she would be a great one. Definitely go check her out. Hers are they're so cozy. I love them. I want to be friends with her in real life. She's just incredible. Happy Little Yarn, Amy. I've talked about her many, many times. Like I said, she's opening 3 different countdowns, and I think a 4th one starts later in the month, and that one looks super cool. And she's been posting some recipe kind of things she's been making that look really good. So check her out if that's your jam. If you are looking for a 2-minute Advent opening, check out Witchin' Knittin' Mama, Nicole. I've only mentioned her like 5 times this episode. Hi, Nicole. But she is opening Fangirl Fibers Monsters Inc. Halloween Countdown. Then next I have the Nitty Witch. I've been watching her. And she's just kind of filming her day-to-day. I don't think she's opening a countdown. I don't think. She is doing, she's making a shawl with Halloween yarns though, and that's looking really pretty. And I cannot remember her first name, and I don't know why. I'm so sorry. But go check her out if you're interested in that, if that sounds like your thing. Andy the Knitress. She has a regular podcast that I really enjoy. She is, I think, in Oregon and has a super cool looking yarn store. I've enjoyed getting to see her shop and her day-to-day as a yarn store owner. So head over and check her out. Knit1T2 is Dale. Dale, I am going to get to the post office one of these days. I promise. I'm so sorry. I still have your little Christmas scraps that I need to get out to you. But Dale is on the other side of the country. She is in the Northeast, I think in Rhode Island. Is that right? Or you're in Rhode Island. I don't know. Anyway, the Northeast, one of those little states up there. And so other end of the country, also an amazing knitter. And she's got a little baby and an older daughter, and just documenting her daily life as a wife and a mom. Wild Magic Yarns. I just found her. Her name is Charlotte, and she is over in the UK. I'm not entirely sure where. And I have been really enjoying her Vlogtober. I binged a bunch of her episodes. She does really beautiful work. And I've been enjoying just listening to her about her daily life. She's got a couple of dogs and a couple of cats who are super cute and make a lot of appearances. So check her out. Jules Craft Room. That one is also UK based. Also just discovered that recently. And there's a lot more crochet content there. So if crochet is something that you're interested in, I would check that out. And then one of you viewers recommended to me the podcast Karma's a Stitch. And I have really been enjoying her podcast. I think her name is Tanya. And she's doing a weekly Vlogtober. So that's been really nice. I've enjoyed that. Andrea of the Cat Lady podcast is doing daily Vlogtobers with lots and lots of cat content, if that is your jam, as well as knit and crochet and daily life stuff. Katie Bug Knits. I have not actually watched her Vlogtober yet. It's been on my list. She's doing another weekly one. I'll probably watch that this afternoon. I'm looking forward to it. She is super sweet. Super sweet. I really enjoy watching her. If you haven't heard of her, she is newer to podcasting, so go give her a follow. Back to Blighty, that's another UK one. I have not watched any of that Vlogtober, but I've watched Vlogmases from that channel before, and that's on my list to get to. Actually, all the rest I haven't watched this year, but I've watched in previous years. Knitting Annihilator, Akira, she is out of Alabama. She has just such a fun family. I love watching her podcast and her previous Vlogtobers and Vlogmases. I just need to catch up. I need more hours in the day. If somebody can tell me where to get those, please let me know. I don't think anybody gets extra hours in the day, but I sure like to think that I could. Madam Mel, which is the hardest podcast to say, but so good. She is also in the UK. I enjoy her content. And then Sock Witchery. I can't think of where she is. I want to say somewhere further west than me. Missouri, maybe? That seems like a place that one would be. I don't know. Anyways, I have watched her previous Vlogtobers and Vlogmases and really enjoyed those. So go give them a follow. After recording this 3 times, my phone is at 10% battery, which means we've got to speed this up. Okay, reading and watching. Watching, aside from Vlogtobers, I haven't had much time. We started Agatha All Along on Disney Plus. Watched 2 episodes of that. Really enjoyed it. Just haven't had time to watch more. Only Murders in the Building. We're still watching that. We did not watch this week's episode yet, though. So, and I don't know when we're going to get to it. Reading. I have been reading. I finished listening to No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. And I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. There were some confusing bits, but overall, I thought it was really good. Mason binged it. He listened to it, I think, in less than 24 hours and absolutely loved it. We're still listening in the car to Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I'll let you know when we're done with that. We only listen to it in the car some of the time, so there's that. On my own, I am listening to Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I'd never read it before, and I know it's one a lot of people have read. I didn't expect to like it. It's not my typical genre whatsoever. I'm really enjoying it, shockingly. I'm almost done with it. There are so many like references to 80s, a little bit of 90s, a little bit of 2000s, like nostalgia that I just love. A lot of pop culture, a lot of movie references, a lot of video game references, tabletop games, all that kind of stuff. And that's just, it's a fun book. I'm really enjoying it. In print, I finished reading The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. I know I am about 25 years late to the party on this one. It has been on my shelf for probably about 20 years. I'm not joking, this very copy, and I had never read it. And I finally did, and I absolutely loved this book. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I have read quite a few things by this author before and really, really enjoy her writing. So if you are looking for a good historical fiction book that's not a World War II, this one is just absolutely lovely. And then I am currently reading If You're Reading This by, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Kirsten Modglin, I don't know. So far, I am 82 pages in. This is 241 pages long. I just started this a couple nights ago. I am not impressed. Not impressed. If you have read this author, is this like maybe one that, does it get better? I feel like the characters are kind of flat and the writing is kind of meh. I don't know. I'm not loving it at all. And I want to. So is this one, I've had this happen before where I just randomly pick a book by an author I want to try, and it turns out that it was like the worst book they ever wrote and all their other stuff is way better. I don't know, but if you have read anything by her, I would love to hear your thoughts. Does it get better? I hope it gets better. I don't know. Not loving it. We'll see. I will finish it because that's just how I am. And it's an easy read. It is not taking me any time. I'm getting through it quickly. So, all right. My phone is going to die soon. So, life update. We went to a pumpkin patch last weekend. That was really fun. We went and saw my grandparents and showed our recent makes to them. That was really nice. Otherwise, I did sewing classes and we've just been living life. The up and down of the temperatures has made my allergies flare up, and I've had some migraines, which has not been great. So, but otherwise just kind of living life, trying to look at the rest of the year, plan some things out. My husband and I barely saw each other the month of September and early October because of my sewing classes and work. So this month we're really focusing on just trying to spend time together when we can and reconnecting and that kind of thing. So, which has been really lovely. All right. That is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I really, really appreciate all of you. Don't forget to enter the giveaway for that skein of yarn if you're interested. I feel really loved and really cared for by all of you. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this. And yeah, I hope that over the next couple of weeks, you find time to do something that brings you joy, be it cooking or baking or visiting with friends or heading to a pumpkin patch or watching Halloween or fall movies or whatever, or crafting or knitting as we find joy and comfort in that. And I will be over here just knitting away in my little corner of Paradise. I'll see you soon, friends. Bye.